each university is independent. So US university will have thousands of acres of land, offers bachelor's, master's, MBA, doctorate, postdoctorate, thousands of specializations, research facilities, on-campus accommodation, and they are given an independent status. So when you are basically doing a, applying for your university abroad in US, you need to basically do a research for each university. It's not a general research which is applicable. So you have to go to each university website, email each university admission program coordinator, and try to find out what is the requirement. So this is just the scenario that I'm just giving you how it is. So now if a student wants to do a counseling himself or herself, then he or she has to follow the following steps. One, they have to do a good pre-application. That means every university has different criteria. The admission criteria, the scholarship criteria, the deadlines are different. So and the program also is different. The research facilities are different. So you need to go to each university website and then basically email your profile, or there is some university, US university, have an online pre-application. So you could do a pre-application online to find out whether your profile is acceptable to that university. This is important. So once your profile is acceptable to a university, then you know that you can apply to that university. So you can first basically, to find out which of the universities are offering, let's say, MS in computer science, you can first Google it out and try to get a list of university, and then you do pre-application with those universities to find out which of them universities are ready to accept your profile. Now once you know that, then you have got some choice of universities which are ready to accept you. Then a student can go individually to each university website and decide which of these universities are of his or her preference. And then you get your list of universities where you are going to send your application across. So I normally tell students that you should apply to at least 6 to 8 universities. The reason behind is that if you apply to 6 to 8 universities, the law of probability takes place and you get at least one admission. So apply to a reasonable number of universities so that you get an admission. That's first case. So you have your list of list of universities ready with you. Then you have to find out the admission requirements of these universities, because the admission requirements may vary. So find out what is the admission requirements and important deadline. Now this is important because the deadlines of some of the good universities are 1 year before the intake. So if I'm applying for August, September 2014, which is fall intake, fall 2014, my deadline starts at September, October 2013. And most of the good universities deadline get over by Jan 15. There are 2 or 3 deadlines. The first deadline is called the scholarship deadline or sometime early deadline. Then you have the regular deadline and the final deadline. So the final deadline gets over by most of the time by Jan 15. Now there are other universities like second tier or third tier universities where the deadlines can go up to April or May of 2013 for 2014 intake. Sorry, April, May 2014 for August, September 2014 intake. So it depends which university you are targeting. So you look at the deadline, and then basically you have the admission requirements and documents ready. Then the procedure of online application starts. That's the third process. The third process is where you actually fill the applications. Now once you fill the application, you will realize that some of the online applications allows you to upload the documents. So you don't have to physically send the documents to the universities. There is also basically online reference check, which are used by universities. So you don't have to send your letter of recommendation to your university. There are formats, affidavit of support formats, bank letter formats, which are available, which you have to complete. There are even reference check formats available. You need to complete those. So once you are basically filling the online applications, you have to fill all those things and see that your application reaches across the university. If you have to courier the documents, then you need to find out where you have to courier. So go to your program and find out where the courier address, because different programs have different courier address, the postal address. So once your documents are sent, and by the way, some university will have 2 addresses, that is financial document to the administrative office and the transcripts, the statement of purpose, the reference letter to the departmental office. So there could be 2 courier address, you need to look at that. Now, once your application is sent to the university, then you have to track your application. Now, universities also have online tracking system to know whether the application has reached the university, whether your application is complete, whether there are any certain missing documents, and if there are any missing documents, you need to resend those documents again. Now, once your applications, documents are everything ready, then you give them 4 to 6 weeks to respond. If they don't respond, then you send an email to them to find out about your admission status. And if you don't hear by 8 weeks, then you need to call them up and try to check out about your admission status. You know, most of the students, what they do is they send the applications, but they don't track the applications. So what happens is the applications are incomplete, so they cannot be evaluated, and finally they don't get admissions. So these are some of the reference, or the points that you have to take care of if you are planning to study abroad in US.